Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for Kujira no Kora wa Sajou ni Utau, Episode 7, Children of the Whales, of course. So I watched this and wrote my notes for it and all yesterday, but I didn't have time to record, so sorry this is up a day later than usual for this show. But either way, let's discuss this, because I thought this episode was great. Possibly, ooh, sorry, I just bumped my desk. That's not even a real desk, but getting distracted. Yeah, I don't know if this was the best one yet. I kind of think this is my favorite episode so far. Possibly, I don't know. I remember really liking the... I never know with anime if cinematography is the right word, but I really did like the way that the scenes were sort of paced out and the way that the music was used with them, the shots they used and angles and all that. So yeah, I liked that about this episode more than the others, I think. But either way, let's talk about it. I think one of the best looking things, though, were we had so many shots whenever they were outside where there was the present sandstorm through everything going on. It was animated like super well, so you just have this really cool flowing of sand over everything that's happened, and it doesn't feel like just a filter over the screen. It actually felt real and natural. Like, it looked so good, and I feel like so much work must have gone into animating that. But we start off with Commander Arachne. That's the name of the guy who is piloting Skylos. Well, commanding, I guess, not really piloting. And he says that the storm seems, or he finds out that the storm seems to be caused by remains on the ocean floor. So that kind of makes me wonder, are they like noose remains or something? And that could explain, since we haven't really had an explanation of how the Sea of Sand works, that could explain it. There were remains of noose or something like that on the seafloor, and they're what makes the sand float upwards, kind of like Thymia on all the earth above them turns it into a sea of sand. So then we see, is Skylos a waifu? Is the question I have here, because she looks like a weird alien girl that we see for a glimpse there. But then we see the pink-haired guy again leading the assault onto Falena, and the pink-haired guy seems to really have emotions. It's weird, because it feels like if he has emotion, shouldn't the others be like treating him as some sort of complete pariah, let alone making him a leader? I thought they hated emotions. But yeah, the dude totally... I can't see a way that he is emotionless and still behaving the way he behaves. Maybe like heartless and cruel and stuff, but he seems to get pleasure out of it. He seems to feel some sort of emotion. So the infiltration team sets out and they take Nibi with them, which, the way that the story's been going with Nibi, I don't have high hopes for his continued survival. We see Emma watch. This was a good scene when Emma is watching on singing. That was really good. The visuals for it too were incredible. The way we saw the different stuff, all the fighting, the infiltration team going in, the sort of extermination team coming on to Falena. Seeing all that while the music was going on, it was really good. The battle begins and we see that the children and, well, yeah, just the children really, they're fighting along, but they're also collecting weapons, which was the important thing I was getting at, because they don't have the technology, these really nice swords and the guns, the big thing, the guns that the people of Skylos have. So now they can sort of take some of that technology, take some of those weapons to use to fight back against them. Moving on from there, the children give a sword to Suo. The song they use during all that is really great, of course. Skylos, we find out the people leading it, they were expecting an attack. They were expecting them to climb on and go for their noose. Because they had Lycos in there, or Lycos, and they were expecting her to tell Falena about all that. So, Arachne wants to kill Lycos behind, what's his name, Orca, is that her brother? Orca's back, because one of the people in there is like, we should capture her alive, give her to Orca or whatever, and he's like, nah, just kill her on sight if you see her. So, Arachne sort of has his own plans going on here. Oni gets it, when they get into battle, Oni is just fighting wildly, and while he is the ace of the team, really doing well, they make note that if he fights that wildly, there could be mistakes or he could run out of energy early. So since they brought that up, that may have something that comes into play later on to do with that. Chakuro saves everyone from an ambush, and I like the way it was all framed, where he was like, I have a choice. I don't want to kill people, but I don't want to lose anyone either. So I have to make this choice, like, regarding these things. So by saving those people, and in a sense leading them to kill the others, or to kill the enemies, he made his choice, where he didn't want to kill people, he didn't want to take down Skylos, but if that's what it takes to not lose anyone else from Falena, that's what he's willing to do. Then we have, I forget who it was, but I think it was Lycos that brought up to herself, thinking to herself that the Falenans, is that what I guess you would call them? But the people of Falena have stronger thymia than the soldiers. And of course we know this has to do with their emotions, because that was a whole deal at the beginning of the series back on the Mud Whale, where they were like, you know, keep your emotions in check because your thymia can run wild and stuff like that. Then the central tower on the Mud Whale gets blown open. Suo goes out to protect his people himself. Great character development for him. And I love what happens next so much. Hakuji uses his body to shield and protect and save the kids, save the children. And I love this because they framed it in the same way that they framed the Chakuro scene. And the way they sort of dealt with his character was him making his choice too. At first he wanted to sink the Mud Whale, he wanted to give up. But he made his choice not to give up and to save people. So I love the way they framed that and showing the two different choices that Chakuro and Hakuji made, and how it's pushing the story forward. So Pink Hair then shows up and beats Suo up. I was going to say fights him, but no, he just beats the crap out of Suo for a bit, because Suo's not a trained fighter and doesn't have thymia. And he brings up, he's like, this emotion is so fun. I knew that I wasn't crazy. I'm not crazy, but the world is. So it shows that he kind of, he wants emotions back into things, but he wants it for the total wrong reasons, not the reasons that people like Chakuro or Lycos think that emotions are good. So Captain Eyepatch then shows up to save Suo, and I like this matchup a lot because it's like the guy from Skylos that's like, yeah, emotions are pretty cool, let's have some fun and do some crazy shit. And on the other hand, it's the complete opposite, the guy from Falena that's like, emotions get in the way and kinda suck. So I like how they're like the two polar opposites here. It's a pretty cool matchup. There was a group left to guard the entrance to where they, sort of like the place where Nous Falena is, where they can't use thymia once they really get in there, is what they said. I didn't remember that being an established rule last episode, but whatever, it's a rule now. So they were like, okay, there's this entrance, we need a group to stay here and guard it so that they don't chase after us, and the other group will go kill the Nous. So the group that's left to guard the entrance is Chakuro, Oni, Ginshu, Nibi, and one other person who I don't know their name, don't really recognize them. I don't think we've really been fully introduced to the character yet. All of the rest of the others go to take down the new Skylos, I guess. But the others fall into a trap. Chakuro gets sent it. I didn't really get the scene between Chakuro and Ginshu. I think Ginshu was saying, hey, we've got that, Chakuro, you go in. Or maybe Ginshu was staying to protect it alone and sending all the rest in. Not really firm on what's happening there. Chakuro is the one we see run in, actually, though. So at least Chakuro was sent in. And it was, again, really great. I love the narration that they had with Chakuro over everything that was happening for the end to lead us into next episode and all that. And we see that only Lycos and Urumi, who is just some other girl character, only Lycos and Urumi are the ones who survived that ambush. Then we just get hit with the ending. That was it. It was a great episode. This is my favorite show this season by far. I absolutely love it. It feels like so much work went into it, like I said. But I thought it was both heavy and exciting, because I felt like any character could potentially die. It felt dangerous and important, which was great. It was loaded with content, too. A ton of stuff happened. All the characters were great, and we got more development for a lot of them. Like I said, Hakuji making his choice and dying because of it, to protect others and to lead the Mud Whale into the future a bit. Chakuro making his choice that he has to fight if he wants to protect people. All of that, just really great. No complaints at all, obviously. And yeah, the music and animation were incredibly well done. So I'm giving it 9.5. Not quite a 10 for me. 9.5 musical interludes out of 10. I'm sure that's not anything that's... Oh, I put infiltrations. Sometimes I write down a couple that I'm like, maybe when I get to that part, that would work. That's something with this episode instead of trying to think of something on the spot every time. Musical interludes works better. 9.5 out of 10. Either way, though, if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this week's episode, what you thought of my thoughts on it and all that. Subscribe for more Children of the Whales, much more on the channel. Lots of anime, plus light novels, comics, other stuff. Guess, what else? Follow on Twitter if you want. I'll try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel or talk to you there. And if you want a link to our Discord server, just ask and I'll give you one. That's it. Thank you once again for watching. I'll see you all next time.